Under the silver glow of the city lights, Isabella Moreau strolled through the quiet streets of Paris. She was a billionaire heiress, daughter of one of Europe's largest luxury empires. Despite her wealth, her eyes often searched for something money couldn't buy, genuine connection. One rainy evening, she spotted a man sitting near the Seine River, wrapped in a tattered coat. His dark hair clung to his forehead, and his hands were rough, gripping a small notebook. He wasn't begging, he was simply existing. Isabella paused. Something about his calm, dignified posture among the chaos of the city drew her in. She approached with an umbrella. "You'll catch a cold out here." The man looked up, eyes a startling shade of steel blue. "Haven't caught one yet," he said with a faint smile. His voice carried an odd mix of refinement and weariness. "I can get you something warm to eat," Isabella offered. He hesitated before nodding. "Thank you. Most people just walk by." That night, they shared a small cafe table. His name was Alex. He spoke little of his past, only that he had lost everything and preferred the streets to the fake smiles of the world he left behind. Isabella found herself laughing for the first time in months. Alex was intelligent, witty, and surprisingly well-versed in art, philosophy, and business. Days turned into weeks. Isabella returned often, bringing him books and food. Their conversation stretched into the early hours, and with every word, she felt her guarded heart cracking open. One evening, as the Eiffel Tower lit up the sky, Isabella whispered, "Why do I feel like you've known a better life?" Alex met her gaze but didn't answer. Instead, he said softly, "Sometimes, you have to lose everything to know what's worth keeping." Isabella didn't know it yet, but the man she was falling for wasn't homeless at all. He was Alexander Hart, a reclusive tech billionaire testing a theory: could love exist beyond fortune and status? And for the first time in his charade, Alex feared the answer. Winter crept into Paris, but Isabella's visits to Alex only grew more frequent. She brought him gloves, hot chocolate, and stories of her childhood. In return, he offered her something she had never known: unconditional attention. Alex listened, truly listened, in a way no suitor from her world of wealth ever had. He didn't care about her last name or the empire behind it. With him, she wasn't a billionaire's daughter. She was just Isabella. One snowy night, she found him sketching in his notebook. "What is that?" she asked. He turned the pad around to reveal a stunning design of a tech device, intricate and revolutionary. Her eyes widened. "Alex, you could sell that and change your life." He smiled faintly. "Maybe I don't want to change my life. Maybe I'm exactly where I need to be." His words cut through her heart. She realized she no longer pitied him. She admired him. Soon, their hands brushed against each other when passing coffee. Then came a lingering glance, a laugh that ended with their foreheads touching. Love grew quietly, naturally, like a secret blooming in the cold. But beneath Alex's calm exterior, a storm brewed. The closer they became, the more he feared the truth. If she discovered he was Alexander Hart, the CEO who once vanished from the world to escape its greed, would she feel betrayed? Would she think it was all a game? One evening, Isabella brought him a gift, a simple silver watch. "So you'll know when I'm coming back," she said with a shy smile. Alex swallowed hard. "Isabella, there's something you don't know about me." Before he could speak, a black limousine pulled up. A frantic man in a suit jumped out. "Mr. Hart. We've been searching for you for months. The board is in crisis." The words hung in the frozen air. Isabella turned slowly toward Alex, her heart pounding. The cafe fell silent. Isabella stared at him, her umbrella slipping from her hand into the snow. "Mr. Hart," she whispered. Alexander Hart, stood frozen. The secret he had guarded so carefully was gone. "Isabella, I can explain." "Explain what?" Her voice trembled. That you let me believe you were homeless? That every word, every look, was a lie? No, he said, stepping closer. Everything we shared was real. I needed to know if love could exist without the weight of my name. I've spent my life surrounded by people who only saw dollar signs. Then you came along. You saw me. Tears burned Isabella's eyes. I saw a man who needed saving. I didn't know I was the one being tested. Alex reached for her hands. You weren't a test. You were the answer. For days, she avoided him. The story broke across media outlets. Reclusive tech CEO found living on streets. Cameras swarmed her family estate. Everyone demanded to know if the heiress would marry the billionaire in disguise. But Isabella didn't care about the headlines. She cared about the nights by the river, the conversations over coffee, the man who made her feel like herself. A week later, she returned to the same bench by the Seine. Alex was there, sitting in the falling snow, waiting. Why here? She asked softly. Because this is where I found you, he said. Not the heiress. Not the empire. Just you. She looked at him for a long moment. And who are you, Alex? The CEO? Or the man who sat in the cold because he wanted to feel human? He smiled faintly. Both. But only one of them loves you. Slowly, Isabella sat beside him, leaning her head on his shoulder. Then maybe both of them deserve a second chance. The world would spin with headlines and gossip, but under the soft Paris snow, none of it mattered. A billionaire heiress and a man who had everything learned the same truth. Sometimes, love has to strip away fortune to find its worth.